This is what people don't get. Let me use Hell Week. This is a perfect example. Hell Week's 130 hours. And 130 hours is a lot of seconds. And if you lose, let's say you win every second but one, you lost. It only takes 1 second for you to lose the whole thing. So the 1 second decision is just that. You're in a situation where life is sucking. Let's say you're in extreme cold water and your life is flashing before your eyes. Every time that wave goes over your head, your thought process is, I got to get the fuck out of this water. And you're in Hell Week and you're hour 1 of 130 fucking hours. It's all fun and games. Okay. Because at the beginning of Hell Week, the guns are going off. It's like a pep rally. So you're fucking hyped up and your boys are linked arms and you're getting sprayed. And it's like a fucking pep rally. The instructors are yelling at you. Bombs are going off. Concussion grenades, blanks from N60s. Yeah. Hoo-yah. Yeah. Yeah. Motherfucker. Yeah. But then what they do is they shut that shit off. They shut it off. All that hoo-yah, all that hype, it gets real quiet. And they march you out to that surf zone for something called surf torture. And it's that water, that Pacific Ocean is cold as shit. So no more pep rally. You're now in your head. You're linked arms with, your brothers beside you. You don't know if they're going to be there long or not. You don't care. You think about yourself. You lay back and that first wave hits you. Your mind goes straight from hour 2 all the way to hour 130. You can't process 5 days of this. You're now like, I gotta get out of here. You're in fight or flight. It's cold. I can't be cold this long. And then this is where that 1 second decision comes in. You forgot every reason why you wanted to be there. You don't care about SEALs. You don't care about any of this. You don't care about fighting for your country. You don't care about that gaudy gold trident that they put on your chest. You don't care about any of that shit no more. All you want to do is go back home. You want the warmth. You may want something to eat. You want your girl to hold you. All those things of comfort are there in that 1 second. And this is where people lose, who have been there 1,000,000 times in their minds and have lived in that water and have suffered 1,000,000 times and realize my legs may break. My knee may break. My bones will hurt. I will be the coldest I've been in my life. I will be miserable and accept that. Because what happens is when you get in a horrible situation in life, your mind, I call it my 1 second decision. When you get in a horrible situation in life, your mind immediately says, get the out of here. Everybody's does, even if you want to be there. But it starts to have all these different questions in your mind in that 1 second. And it says, okay, why are you here? Why are you doing this? Why this? Why that? And then you start to say to yourself, if you don't want to be there that bad, I have a beautiful wife at home, man. Why the fuck am I doing this, man? Like, this is stupid. This is going to get these guys injured. Like they're going to pay for this for the rest of their lives. I'm not going to break my body up to do this. Your mind starts to say, yeah, this is stupid. But if you are already knowing that this is going to happen to you, you have all the answers to these questions that your mind starts to give you when you're in suffer mode. And that's what I realized. You true that's your visualization of those moments over and over? Over and over again. You have to be there but not there at the graduation. You got to be there in the worst parts suffering that you know over and over again. You got to live that in your mind. So what I do in that 1 second, because we all think about quitting when shit's hard. But what you have to do in that 1 second is hard to process information during pain. Because that pain takes over and you can't think rationally. You're thinking about fight or flight, save yourself. That's not a rational thought. It's not a thought that's going to get you through hard times. Most people fail that 1 second. So what happens, what I do in that 1 second, and there's a bigger process to all this, but in that 1 second, I physically stayed in that water. Because if I get out of the water, I quit. So I physically stay in the water, but mentally, I'm on the fucking beach with the fucking instructors. And the instructors, it's cold outside, so they got these parkas on. They got their cup of fucking Joe and they're warm because they've already been through it. So now it's your turn to go through it. So mentally I get back with them. I'm still in the water physically, but mentally I'm back with them. I'm chilling. I got my parka on and now I'm thinking logically because I'm warm now. Mentally I'm warm. I've taken that 1 second. Let's not quit yet, Goggins. Let's think about your options. Where are you going to end up if you quit this? Where are you going to go? What are you going to say to yourself? Because you know you're going to get warm. The second you get out of this water, you could take a shower and you could be warm. And in 5 days you could be out. So I start thinking logically. I calm my brain down because your brain just wants to get the fuck out. Ring the bell, put your helmet down, get warm, and then you're really fucked. And these are the things you have to think about in the 1 second decision. So that's what that's all about. It's about gaining control of your mind, putting things back in the proper perspective, and then saying, I really do want to be here. And I'm going to have a bunch of these 1 seconds through this 130-hour journey. And I have to learn to control these because if I fail one of these 1 seconds, I will not be a SEAL. I will not be a doctor. I will not be a lawyer. I will not be whatever the fuck it is. So that's how important that 1 second decision is. It's all about your mind takes control of you. You have to say, fuck you. I run this motherfucker. And that's what that's all about. When I was a SEAL recruiter, I got invited to MIT. Smart ass motherfuckers there, man. I'm not that. I'm just a good animal. I'm a knuckle dragger. And, there was this guy there. I forget his name, but he was like the top head guy, old white guy, you know, all geniused out. And we were on this panel and they were asking us all these questions about the mind, mental toughness and shit. And he was answering them. And I wasn't answering many questions. And I'll never forget, he was just answering them off of theory. He never put his fucking ass in shit. You read a bunch of fucking books and you think that you know how the fucking mind works and shit. I had gone through hell since a kid and then all the way up until now. So I know that theory is bullshit. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff out there you can read from people, but I had lived hell. And when you put yourself in hell, that's the only time you can figure out how to get through that motherfucker. You can't read somebody else's book about some theory on how to do some guy who sat up in their nice warm office and wrote some book with a nice cup of coffee in the fucking hand. No, I want to see that guy who immersed himself in fucking hell. And he thought about quitting and leaving and his wife and his kids. And why am I here? Is it worth it? All this crazy shit. And still said and found out a way to get through it. So basically that's the bottom line of it all. We all want to read about how we can quickly get somewhere. That's why the 6-minute abs and all that are so powerful. You may get some results from it, but they're not permanent. The permanent result comes from you. I say it all the time. You have to suffer. You have to make that a tattoo on your fucking brain. So when that hard time comes again, you don't forget it. You may forget it for a second, but you can go back in the cookie jar. I call it. It's something that we've all endured. I call it the cookie jar, and we often forget how hard we are, but you got to reflect back. Take a couple seconds, reflect. I've been through this. I've been through that. And then remind yourself, I'm a bad motherfucker. And then you can get through that. But if you don't believe it, you haven't endured shit, you're just blowing smoke, man. And you're not going to be able to get through anything.
What do you think most people get wrong about motivation?
They think it's a permanent fix. They think it's something that is a constant. They think that maybe once I get it, I'm going to hold on to it. And that's the thing about that I was telling you, that I always talk about. Nothing is permanent. Nothing is permanent. And a lot of times you have to learn to perform without motivation. You have to learn to perform without purpose. You have to learn to perform a lot of different things. And that's what people think. They think I need to have this motivation to work out, to study, to be better. So if they don't have it, they just don't do it. And that's where you fail. You have to learn to train your mind well beyond motivation. If you have motivation, that's great. That's some kindling to the fire. All it takes is a little bit of fucking spark and you can burn the whole forest up. But motivation, you have to learn to exist without it. You have to learn to be your best self when you're least motivated. And that's the tricky part about all that. Motivation is just a word. You have to have these different things in your mind on where you want to go and know that motivation is not going to get me there. Cause I'm not going to always be motivated.
What was this guy saying? Like, what was his theories that he was throwing out there?
His theories was about, I forget exactly what it was, but it was something about what the mind does under stress and how we can't. He said how we can't do something. And I did it. I did what he said we couldn't do.
Like, what was he saying you couldn't do?
It was something about if you're born a certain way, it's something about if you're born a certain way, you can't become this way. And it was totally saying that with who I am now, like I had to be born with some, not genetic power or some gift from God, but I had to have some kind of special gift. Had to have some kind of special gift. And I forget what set me off, but it was like we had to be, to be somewhere, you had to be born with it. What was the concept? And I know what I was born with. And I know the battle that I had in my mind. So when he said it, I just sat there, looked at my face, and somebody in the crowd asked me a question. And I totally contradicted everything he said. And I was like, nah, man, I mean, I fucking know for a fact that you can be this fucked up dude, like really fucked up dude, and with the right mindset. And it sounds so easy with the right mindset.
It doesn't sound easy.
I
know what you're saying. It sounds like a simplistic answer.
Right. You can, but you have to go into those dark chambers that we often shut off, and you got to open them up. You got to open up and fight that fucking demon, get in there, talk to that motherfucker and say, what's up? And we all like to take this 4-lane highway, the easy highway. It has signs. It has restaurants. We all love that 4-lane highway. We always step over the shovel. And all I did was I picked up that fucking shovel, and that shovel, I made my own path. And you may have big boulders and shit. They may be getting 200 miles up the road faster than you. But going through this path of life, this journey over here that you make yourself, that's incredibly difficult. What comes out the other end of that motherfucker is some glorious shit that you can't even explain to people. And we're afraid. Bottom line is most of us, even the people who have all these theories and shit, it's easier to accept the fact that I'm just not good enough. I wasn't made to do that. And yeah, some of us can't be LeBron fucking James. But I'll tell you right now, man, we can do a lot of shit when it comes to this pure arm guts and willpower and getting through shit. We have a lot more than what we think we have.
Do you like suffering, or do you just deal with suffering? Real answer.
Real answer?
Yeah.
I like to get a bunch of men together.
Okay.
Men that are the hardest of the hard. Mm-hmm. And I want to be with these men. And I want to see them suffer. Cause I'm suffering right along with you, but I want to see me get through it. Mm. I want to see what you're made of. Mm. I want to see almost like the Colosseum in Rome. Mm-hmm. Let's go to the fucking Colosseum. And the only way to see who the baddest motherfucker is to suffer. You can't do it by writing a paper. So let's go. Because why? What I found out through my life was I thought of myself as some weak little kid. And what I found out, and the only message I want to get across to people is once you change one thing, your mindset, you can attack everything. Mm. And I find it fascinating. I'm fascinated because I'll be in these moments. I put these guys on some fucking pedestal.
Yeah. Which people do with you.
They do with me, and they shouldn't. And I was this guy who was a piece of shit looking at these, oh my God, how are you guys this amazing? But once I worked my way up there, I said, my God, man, we can all compete, motherfucker. Let's go. So do I like suffering? I like suffering in the way that is competitive, that brings out the absolute best in me and in everybody else. So I want to see a man be defeated. I want to see a man get broken and say, fuck you. I love these men. These men I love, but there's very few of them. There's very few of them. And there's very few that are willing to go there